Coming up tonight, we decode the Tangerine Book and still aren't sure what it means. Two of the industry's smallest sparks take on a challenge. Joe discovers his caravan wiring belongs in a museum. An orange cake appears, for reasons unknown. And the eFIXX house band makes its very first noise.
Welcome to the live stream. Yes, you've just heard the amendments, and that brings us on to Amendment 4 of BS7671. And we've got the people in the House that were responsible. They will say there's panels and other people involved in it. That's just sheer deflection, I would suggest. We've got the IET in the building, and we've got a JPEL 64 member in the form of somebody from ECA as well, haven't we?
We have. So there's no excuses for not being able to answer a question tonight. We've got some we've already prepared that we want to dive into, but please get your questions in the comments, and we will try and mop them up later in the show if we haven't done already. And let's have a look. Let's have a look at our panel in the green room.
They are the green room there. They all are. Look at this. Yeah, it's a load of experts there. One even picking their nose before he started. That's gone down well at work as well.
There we have Darren Crannis from the ECA. Give us a wave there, Darren.
Yeah, Darren's going to wave.
Mild orange there tonight. We've got Joe Cannon from the IET. We've got Michael Rae from Sigenergy. We've got Lewis Castillo from Sigenergy as well. And Steve Edmonds from TB Electrics. Now, they could be some of the big winners in this change that's gone through. But I guess, Gary, what should we do first?
Well, I think we just should rock on. Get the experts. We shouldn't play experts tonight. We should bring the experts in. Let's start with the IET. Let's bring Joe in. So we know the old sayings, don't we, folks? Those who can do, those who can't write the regulations. Here they come. Yes. Take a seat, Joe. Try and defend yourself at all costs here. Thank you.
We can go on together with suspicious minds. We can build our dreams on suspicious minds. We're caught in a trap. I can't walk out because I loved it too much, baby. We're caught in a trap. I can't walk out because I loved it too much, baby. Because I loved it too much, baby.
Oh, brilliant. It's going to be one of those nights, folks. Look out for the songs that match the guests. So we're caught in a trap, but before we get that trap unveiled, let's tell yourself a little bit to the audience that don't know who you are, Joe.
So Joe Cannon, work for the IET as a senior engineer. My main role at the IET as a committee manager is on JPEL 64, so split into subcommittees. I do subcommittee B, which covers thermal effects.
And JPEL 64 being responsible for writing that part of the regulations, or you're chairing that part you wanted to go for?
No, so there's a chair to the meeting. I'll be managing the documents. As you know, a lot of the documents are coming down from international, Senelec, European standards. So I'm managing them coming in, feeding them out to the committee, getting comments on them, and things like that. Sort of organising the committee agendas and minutes and things like that.
And we'll get the structure in a minute and how these regulations come about, because they all think you sit there and write them. We'll get over that in a minute. But people are really interested because you did the race walk today. So you've got a whiff of electrical background. So you did about, 10 minutes at college, and then you went off the tools. Is that right?
Definitely not. No, I did an apprenticeship. Worked at a contracting business, mainly new build, for sort of about 4 years.
House basher.
House bashing started there, yeah, enjoyed it. Went into sort of the commercial side of things, set up my own company and many moons ago, 2006. Contracted for quite a long time, and as I was contracting then I moved into sort of design and build, so contracting, consulting, and then ended up fully consulting, and that was doing work in all sorts of installations, but I got into solar PV quite early. was like 2010, 2011, and they ended up, the consulting at the end was doing a lot of consulting on the sort of the big PV schemes. Then worked for a certification body for a period of time, doing assessments, doing technical services, things like that, and I got my job here at the IET.
Okay, just read into that what the time will be, folks. Remember, it will be in minutes, but it will feel like hours, folks, because it's the classic, isn't it? Yeah, those who can do, those who can't write about it. You agree with that, Gordon?
Well, no, it's quite a practical background.
No,
behind the regulation, and your name is in the front here. We can see it in the who's to blame bit.
That is not the who's to blame.
Let's look at the who's to blame bit. Let's have a look.
That's the staff.
That's the staff.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, right, okay.
Where's the who's to blame?
Keep going. Yeah. Do you not know where it is? You not look for Shahid Khan's name. Craig Lewis is in there. He's the first one. When you get there, keep going. There we go. Craig's at the top. There he is. Look, Craig's at the top. Yeah, friend of the show.
There you go. So you just chair the people who are to blame.
Committee manager.
Yeah, there we go. I see Darren's name on here as well. Yeah. So there we go.
Sneaked in there. Well, let's stop. We've had questions in. Let's just get in front of it before we start. I've got a tangerine book in, and that's the colour, isn't it? Tangerine. You agree with me? And the rest
that's the Pantone, but you know,
it's tangerine.
If you want me to agree with you.
Well, it will be an easier night for you, young man. So yeah. So go for you. So I've got the tangerine book there, and the biggest thing we hear is it's 125 notes.
Yep.
Please start talking.
So, I mean, you can go online and you can buy it a little bit cheaper than that. You know, find a competitive price on there. But I think I'm going to say this. I work for the IET. I think it's a reasonable price for a standard. You know, there's quite a lot in there, isn't it? It's made up of 40 odd different European documents. The 60364 series is pretty sure people using standards pay quite a lot more than they're paying for BS7671 and sort of the page count, what you get for that. I think it's good value for money. So yes, a tool for electricians, and we like tools.
Okay, well, jury's still out. The comments will be coming in. The next one, they reckon to get round it, okay? This is not my opinion, it's their opinion, is we should have the first 18th edition or 90s when we get there. If we had it ring-binded, hole-punched, and you made a little bit of a tweak, you know, like you like to, little tweak, we could just slide that page in and we've saved the planet.
I think there's a lot of big changes, but also there's a lot of tweaks throughout the book. If you look at the sort of revision bars as you scan through the pages, there's not many where there's not many changes. So I don't think the ring binder option, which was an option previously, you can see the old ring binder version where you could slip the amendments in, it just wouldn't be practical. I think it costs more in the long run.
Just imagine they put a new page 3 in. None of your page numbers would match from then out. Imagine turning in all the pages. So yeah, turn to page 84, oh no, I've got the ring binder. And like I said, if you look at the lines down the right-hand column, you see how many changes are. It's very rare you find anything with no changes in at all on a page.
So there's constant tweaks or lining up with terminology and aligning with drafting rules on things people might say, it doesn't seem like much of a change in that requirement, but ultimately it's making sure the right verbal forms in there, we're applying the drafting rules to the standard to make sure it's as consistent as possible throughout.
Has it got a whiff of shrinkflation? That's what happens. You buy a box of chocolates and then you buy them for the same price. And is there more pages or less pages in?
There's more pages, and then, you know, whatever your metrics are, CPI, RPI, I don't think it's far off if you do the inflation on keeping it with the existing pages, but there's more in there. You know, there's new chapters, new sections been added into there. There's not many chapters or sections been removed. It's been added, so inevitably there's more pages there, isn't there? If you're going to go.
And I agree with that. We've been in for inflation at 8 and 10% across 2 years. Yep. The book price hasn't really increased in line with inflation. It's probably fallen, and you've put more pages in. So it's a bargain now, isn't it?
Sounds like a bargain.
Absolute bargain, 125 quid. But you can get it cheaper. And if we turn to the amendments and look there, you might recognise one of the members of the amendments there in the front, wearing the hat and glasses. He is our good friend from Dock Store. And he also offers next day delivery, folks, like that online retailer. So make sure you get your orders into Dock Store when you're ordering your new set of tangerine books. Yay! He hasn't been busy recently at all. Okay.
And it's fully recyclable now as well, isn't it?
FSC certified now. You'll notice the difference on the old to the new now. It's FSC certified.
A little tree on the back, and
at the back.
Yeah.
Responsibly sourced.
And anyone, I mean, there's been a lot of headlines on it, people saying there's not a lot of changes in there, but actually when you see those little vertical bars that indicate the change,
there's loads.
There is a lot of them.
Yeah.
And even a tiny wording change can have a big effect, and we're going to dig into that in a little bit, because we were arguing about it.
Shall we dig into it?
We shall dig into it.
Shall we?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, we must.
Okay.
I'm not allowed to say that, are we?
No. Is it chapter or verse? You got all that wrong earlier on, didn't you?
So you can enjoy the fun that we've had today, flicking through this, and there's some, we'll get into it, including the caravan bit. I know Joe's desperate for us to get into
there's some changes going. So here it is. Oh, look, we've had it up. He's first up. There he is. He was livid when he got out of his orange Caravan there. So there it is. So there is Joe. So we will come back to the Caravans. There is major changes in Caravans, more important than maybe earthing arrangements and a new. And is it a section, verse, or chapter? What are you going for?
Chapter 57.
You've got it there in front of you. He's been got it wrong all day, isn't it? Chapter 57.
He's got it right in the right cut, hasn't he?
I think you need some support. Okay, because obviously we're now going to go regs in. So one of your fellow JPEL 64ers, we're a friend of the show. So let's have a look over there and let's bring in, with a touch of music, let's bring in Darren Crannis from the ECA.
They seek him here, they seek him there. His clothes are out, but never square. It will make or break him, so he's got to buy the best. 'Cause he's a dedicated follower of fashion.
Hey! House fans in, house fans in. Brilliant. So thank you very much for the show. You're back, Darren, and I've just got a little glimpse for your trainers. If they want to show you trainers there on hand cam, if they can bring it in for me, that was good. Look, so you got a tangerine pair of those on. Pink socks, I noticed, but still got the old tangerine flip-flops on there, so that's all good. So friend of the show, for the people who don't know who you are, you've got 60 seconds to tell us all about yourself and your son, hopefully, who's tuning in at home. So go on and tell us all about yourself.
First of all, hello Jude and hello Joshua. Hopefully you're watching. I know Jude's a big fan of the show and thanks you for all his
he's got
trinkly bits.
Massive bag coming. Massive bag.
Coming. So hopefully go to bed soon, Jude. Be good for mum. But my name's Darren Crannis. I'm a technical manager for the ECA. I've had the pleasure of actually probably going through 2 amendments now. I've been with them for 4 years and importantly, I help ECA members unwind the wiring regs, safely apply the wiring regs and other sort of technical standards. So as part of me and my technical team, we help our members sort of safely put in electrical installations.
Okay, and we'll come back to how we can see you in person and obviously access you as an ECA member as we go through. But you didn't do the race walk because you've already done it.
I have, many years ago.
So, of course, when you have your meetings and that, does it ever come up in conversation where people are on that leaderboard? Because we've had a lot of big guns from there come in.
I believe at the moment I'm still holding the record for the fastest JPEL 64 member, and I hope that still continues today.
I've got a feeling it will. Okay. Those who can do, those who can't write the regs. Okay, so please stay on for the race walk because it is an absolute cracker, folks. But yeah, maybe not for all the right reasons. Okay, so let's start. Where do you want to go, Gordon?
Biggest changes you think that'll affect people, obviously, in there? We've got, we'll get onto the bigger ones later on, but what would we pick out as a few favourites?
I think one of the biggest ones is the introduction of, well, I say a new, but it's an existing earthing system. So we've brought in that term PNB, Protective Neutral Bonding. So it's a TNCS, earthing system, but it's not PME.
Right, okay.
So we'll see that as part of the TNCS family. So that's something new. It came into a previous DPC for the wiring regulations, but it never made it through to the final draft. However, this time it's made it into the orange or tangerine book.
It's tangerine. It's not or, it is.
It's just tangerine.
It's just tangerine.
This already exists, but wasn't in the wiring regs.
It's been in sort of E&A guidance and DNO's been using this for decades. And naturally, we've actually been using this and many of us have been assuming it's TNS. So it's sort of not really had a name in a book, but it's the first time it's been documented into the wiring standards.
Right. And where would we find it, Joe? So we're out there in the wild, we're out there in industry, and we're now going to be... Why will we panic about this earthing arrangement? Because if we happen to take a course that requires us to answer some questions about the big tangerine book, there's a chance a question will come up on it, but then you try and apply it to when you're going to see it. When do we like to see it?
So, in my experience, it was in sort of private networks where you'd have your own 11 kV transformer, your own substation, and then from that substation to your switchboard, so your big switchboard, within the switchboard, generally you'd put that link in, that neutral earth link in there, and you've saved on copper, I suppose, going back. You've got that. It's not a PME. There's not multiple earthing points.
No.
But it's a TNCS system. And importantly, in them parts, and now it's recognised, is some of the special installations and locations where you'd have to apply these extra measures for PME is, we're saying it's recognised now that isn't PME, it's TNCS, not PME, so private. And then I did a bit of assessing for certification bodies, as I mentioned, and in that world I've seen some on the public network, And generally that was sort of a farm location, and they had overhead line, and they had a transformer on the pole, and ultimately came in, and then that was, you know, there was an electrode at the pole, and it was made into, that was the PNB for that installation. Looked very much like a PME at the time. The first time I investigated is the external earth fault loop impedance was a little bit high. Looked further into it, and it was actually a PNB system. That was my experience in the public network. But again, my own experience as a consultant is, you know, I don't think it's uncommon to do that in the switchboard, to have your neutral earth point in the switchboard, and you might have your cables not buried underground. The chance of a loss of neutral, things like that are different than managed by yourself.
So coming in, one cable, a building, the chances of losing it when an earth electrode as well.
So them reasons we're worried about sometimes PME systems,
yes,
is then you've sort of it's not the same worry. And, you know, people in industry and I think they have them for a while, is they'd say, you know, you treat it as like a TNS system. That's been the thing, but it's a TNCS. It's just not a PME system.
Okay, so just for those people who are watching, to unpack that, you're never going to come across it. By all means, pass the exam with that question. That's all you're going to need it for. You've got to find it on the page, recognise what the letters stand for, and obviously that earth electrode as well. Okay, so that's what I would suggest on that. But it gets people frightened, doesn't it, when you're a new system, especially when you do it with TNCS and PME in the same terms. You're thinking they're going to replace all that broken pen conductor network with this new PMB, but that's not the case, is it?
No, but it really does help out those industrial and commercial installations. So think, like Joe said, special locations, okay, especially EV charging. When you've got a PMB network, private network, you're never going to lose your neutral unless it's malicious. You know, someone's going to unbolt that link from their panel board. So therefore, PME conditions don't apply, and a lot of your Part 7s become even easier. Because you don't have to put those special measures in.
Because you treat it as a TNS system.
You treat it like a TNS system. So your bonding is no greater than 25 mil, for example. So we're saving materials here as well.
Okay.
Right. So if I was putting in a new EV charger installation with a transformer fed off the network, that might be, it comes through as a PNB system.
Yeah, I mean, you can come off a transformer in a couple of ways. But if you come off in a 4-wire system where you have the neutral earth link in your panel board, that would be a PMB system.
Right.
The electrode, the neutral earth is only done once.
The PME conditions wouldn't apply then?
Yes.
Because you have multiply earthed it. No,
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So for EV charge point installers, that sounds like a good thing.
Yeah.
Industrial, commercial, coming off a private transformer of their own, so massive EV car parks, for example. Brilliant.
Right. Okay. And how would I know? Say I'm doing some investigating. How would I know I'm on one? Would I see a different sticker?
So if you were on
It's a label.
It's a warning label.
It's a warning label.
I'm not looking earlier. I said sticker. You fell into that gap.
So when you're on a private network, you should know. The person responsible for that should give you like a contractor's pack or tell you you're on the private network. When you're on a public network, there'll be a warning label or a sticker on the cutout supplied by the DNO. But likely, when you're on a DNO network, it may say PNB earthing, but it'll probably say something like PME conditions still apply, because it's on their network.
Okay, right. That's a reassuring label or sticker. What are you going for?
Label, Gary.
That's a sticker, that one, isn't
Is it? All right, okay.
I can make this up. You have to read it first. No, don't say. Okay, so that's a change, but for us, let's unpack it. Rarity, you lot have found it very rarely, okay, yep, so, and you've been out there in the wild. Lots of people are probably never going to come across it until they get to the exam. That's probably where they've just got to understand it, yeah, that's good. I'm just helping them out.
Just be aware it's there.
Yes.
And actually, you know, if you don't know, ask.
Yeah, okay.
It's like we say, we say to a lot of our members and contractors as well, when we talk about things like protected escape routes and other sort of installations like that. If you don't know, the engineer in us should really be asking. You know, you can call people like ourselves or the IET and others, get sort of confirmation.
And don't guess it.
Well, yeah, don't guess it. Just,
Right.
you know.
The larger switchboards and stuff, some of them actually have a view window, you could see that, but generally the installations that I worked in, you'd have the drawing on the wall, your single line diagram, and you'd see it within the switchboard, that
If
link.
you can't read the drawing, you shouldn't be in the room. Is that the one? Oh.
I don't know, you said that, God.
What did you say, Joe? You shouldn't be in the room? So, okay, we'll find out later whether he should have been in the room, so we'll get to the race. Now, we just mentioned EV charging there, and obviously we've been, I would say, in and around this electronic RCD for a while, haven't we? Back when we were working with Zappy, we did some training modules, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'll be upfront with you, at that time, they clearly explained to us, and we did in our videos, that are no longer available.
RCDPD.
Was it then one of those, or has it got to be one of those now because we've actually understanding what technology we've got?
That's the great thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that has now been recognised. The RCDPD has now been recognised for EV chargers. So advice there is I think a lot of chargers have this built in now, but check the instructions or the certificate conformity declaration. That's it, DOC. Should say on there, and it should conform to that standard.
Yeah. Right. So just unpack that. So historically, a lot of EV chargers just had DC protection in, and then you'd put upstream, you'd put a Type A RCD to do the AC side.
That's right. Typically a double pole Type A LCD.
But then people got a bit some of the manufacturers have been a bit keen and putting all that technology in the charger, and to a standard that wasn't recognised within BS7671, but now that standard is recognised.
Yes.
So in theory, depending on how I route my cable, I could take that to the charge point, full fat RCD in there, providing protection for the outlet. I don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, so it's really just important to check those instructions or call the manufacturer and make sure it meets that standard.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not just their own flavour that they've made and we're calling it an RCD. The importance is,
That's not easy to do, is it?
Yeah. Boom.
Making sure it meets that standard which is in there, so that for the protected device is important as well.
Yes. So
PD.
Yes. So RDD PD. Is that the one?
RDC PD.
RDC PD. There you go.
We're starting well. We've got PMB. We've got letters are us here, folks. So again, that's a really good thing. That's a positive move for us, because lots of times we could have obviously got our cable out to the EV charger and then we put the RCD. It wouldn't make a difference, though, would it? If you had to, you've just maybe got an issue with a little bit of selectivity. Who cares which one goes off? I don't care as long as it goes off.
No, in that situation, we talk. To achieve full selectivity is a very difficult job.
Yep.
But in that situation, it's not going to matter which one goes, is it?
No, absolutely not. No,
No,
it's either gone off or it's
going
gone
off in that event. So
Yeah, that's good. Bit of clarity there. Maybe them training modules will reappear now. Young Gary and Joe reappear. So yeah, it was a shame, because we loved the fact it was in there and we made a big thing on it. But of course, they were a little bit ahead of the curve, and that's why our regulations change. They don't always change as quickly as we'd like, obviously, but this time, obviously, we've got a new book. There's loads of changes in there, but you said it's more like buying a car. Is that right?
Yeah, I said, so you just highlighted there. It's like buying a car, but then you go and buy it again 3 years later. Everything's just a little bit better, and you get a few new features.
Yeah.
So we as committees and as the ECA and the IT, we've all listened to what 1,600 comments came in on the draft for public comments, and there was some obviously some views and maybe some development from Amendment 2, and all that gets put into the Tangerine book. So all those little bits that we just thought, right, let's make this a little bit better, a little bit easier. Let's try and make it, fit the drafting rules, make it read easier. Let's do that, and that's what the committees have done.
Just tell me how it cascades down then from the top, because it isn't you lot, the IET, sitting there thinking we'll smash another book out, 125 notes, we're on it. Yeah, it's like Harry Potter, we just keep rolling them out every 3 or 4 years. People are queuing up trying to panic read it. Just show me the cascade effect down to where we get to, because it's a massive effect, isn't it?
Yeah, so the majority of BS767 will be made of the 60364 series, and that starts at IEC, so international level.
Yep.
Is all the international experts would work on that, and then national committees would feed comments into that, just like we get the DPC. They'd make the draft document, and it goes through various stages. There's a committee draft of vote, an FDIS as it goes through these stages. So that happens at IEC, international, and then we're part of Senelec. So within the European committees is that we're coming to Senelec then. Some standards, or a lot of standards now, are parallel voted. So as it's coming down to it gets to a certain stage, and then ultimately Senelec would apply what they call common modifications to it. So anything we need, we have harmonised documents. So things like 60898 circuit breakers are harmonised. It's BSEN is in it. So we wouldn't be saying it's an IEC. We'd be saying it's a BSEN. It'd go through Senelec, and then that's when we would take it. We're part of Senelec. It becomes a harmonised document. You'll hear the term HD. That's then we have to take the technical intent of that at that point.
Yeah, I like that, the technical intent. So this is the bit that gets you, folks. So we're trying to get to grips with this. We're reading it and panicking, trying to produce content. How many years are you ahead of us on really understanding what we might be changing? Are you 10 months ahead, a year ahead, 18 months ahead?
It's years, and it depends what part of the...
What's the most ahead you could be? 5 years?
Probably more than 5 years, maybe between 5 and 10. It depends on the structure of that. Some of the things going in there, it can take quite a while. But there's certain parts of the series that are quick, and they'll do sort of a quick amendment. But ultimately, then new technology comes along, and ultimately you're starting again there. But you can be, I suppose, 5 to 10 years internationally. But within that process of that is that, it's making sure that document is correct, and the countries around the world, all part of the IEC, are making comments and sending their experts to their meetings. So it might seem like a long process within there, but standards take time, and ultimately we want them to be right, don't we?
So have you got a sneak into what we're doing next in maybe when we go to Amendment 5 and 6? I mean, sorry, the 19th, sorry, I was just trying to suggest.
Standards development is a continual process. So at the ECA and other organisations, we're looking ahead at the IEC, at those documents, because we need to make sure we get that right internationally to make it easier to get into our national standards. So we are always looking ahead.
So you know potentially what's coming around the corner?
Yes.
Yes, and a nice place to be. Do you feel good about yourself, don't you? It's like, well, you're worried about this, you want to worry about the next one, I know what's coming around the corner.
But what we also do with that is we engage with industry as well.
Right.
So we're not going to go out and tell everyone what's coming because we don't know that. But to help develop some of the pain points, some of the pain points you may have, say, from the Brown Book, we've had to go into Europe and maybe into international to get that fixed in the international document.
Right.
So there are some things here that might be painful. We have to go into the international document, get that international document right. So we've got a sort
It feeds back up, doesn't it? It's that process of it's coming down and you feed it.
Then we get it down, because we talk about the technical intent. We can't just do what we want. Can we really? We have to do the technical intent internationally, we have to get that into Europe, and then we very easily get that into our national standards.
So there you go, folks. So it's a tool in your bag. You've got to have it, okay? What always gets me with these, especially when I've taught for so long, is people will buy the book. The one thing they won't do is read it, folks. Do not ever buy a book you're not going to read, and one that is actually your life, effectively, as an electrician. You should be reading.
Well, I think very important in this is, I think it's page 12 it starts on, the introduction to Amendment 4.
Oh, I got bored after 2 pages. I ain't getting it up again.
Didn't even make it to the contents page.
I couldn't see Shade on page 2 or like that. It was in the bin. Okay then, folks, let's go for a bit easier for us, because there's been a nice change in some areas that you like on test and inspection.
Oh, yes.
A small tweak with a big difference, I would suggest, because it was a get out of jail card that nobody should play, but everyone played it.
Yeah, so we'll talk about the code FI.
Yeah.
So there's been some subtle tweaks in sort of chapter 6 for the sort of wording, but it's the model forms that have changed. So the code FI has been
further investigation.
Further investigation has been decoupled from an unsatisfactory report. So the word is decoupled.
Right.
So what that means is, if you're doing an EICR under Amendment 4, Tangerine Book, if you spot code 1s and code 2s and you report those, the form is slightly changed because there's a different section for those. Only a code 1 and code 2 will lead to an unsatisfactory report.
Right. Let's go through some of those examples people do at trade shows and all the rest of it. I'll give you them and you can explain what I've done. So I've gone there. I can't find any protective equipotential bonding. I can't find it. I'm going to put FI down.
Is that an operational limitation?
Well, I'd argue I've already found the problem. It isn't there, and people used to use it as a gout.
So if you haven't found it,
Yeah.
that could be an operational limitation. But if you haven't seen it, as in it's not there, that's a code 2.
But then the other thing is, what's the pipe coming in, and you're looking for something you don't need? That always catches people out. So they go there and think, it hasn't been bonded, but it doesn't need bonding, so that's another one. Open ring final circuit, done a bit of testing, got the old open ring, FI, couldn't find it.
The actual fault has already been found.
It has.
Overloaded conductor. Okay.
And you know which one it is.
It's a code 2. Sometimes when we do EICRs, we're thinking about the end game, the remedial game. What we should be thinking about is the report. Do we have enough information here today to put a code on it? When you find an open ring final circuit, you've found a fault.
Okay.
Now, it's someone's poor job to go through and find it eventually.
Yes.
But that's remedial work.
Yeah.
And that is a code 2. So I can't think of a single case, especially domestically, where a code FI could be used. It's been used and abused over the years, often to sort of kick the can down the road. But if you notice in the last couple of years, Electrical Safety First Best Practice Guide 4 removed all the code FI examples. And when I sort of go around doing road shows and presentations, I always challenge people. I'd buy them dinner if they can give me a legitimate code FI, and I've saved the money so far.
There's a challenge for you folks. Can
Yeah,
you
it
find
is.
a legitimate use for an FI? Darren Crannis will buy you dinner. There you go.
Absolutely, yeah. And again, those best practice guys are brilliant to download. They should be in your suite of stuff that you've got. I know you can have them electronically, but I'd like the physical paper. When I've been doing it at colleges, Electrical Safety First have been working with me, and you wouldn't believe how many colleges I went to where the lecturing staff didn't know they're available. So people use other documentation maybe to help them code when colleges. So they're trying to code C1, C2, etc. But theirs is free. Just download their version.
It's a free guide.
Yep.
I think it's 10 of them.
There is.
They're all free. And importantly, it's industry who puts that together.
Yeah.
So it's the likes of us, IET, and others. And we all agree on those publications.
And how much are they?
Absolutely free.
Is that a model you could use? Always strange to that one, isn't it? So obviously, yeah, but again, there it goes, hand and foot. So the work you're doing with this book is actually helping other guides become free and all the rest of it. And I'll recommend those as we go through. Where next then, Gordon?
Where next, we've had a question in from a Joe in Corby about any changes to do with caravans.
Oh, right, okay. So we've got some real big caravan enthusiasts, both within the team and obviously online. Okay, so caravans, big changes?
Very big change on that.
Very
one.
big change.
So the colour of the lead that you use to plug your caravan into the hookup can now be the same colour as the book.
Oh, tangerine coloured.
Tangerine coloured.
Has he got a maximum length?
25 metres plus or minus 2 metres, I
Is that
believe.
where you've nicked it on when someone's coming around, stringing around your caravan? Just sort of, it gets slowly, gets shorter and shorter. Cross-sectional area, they stated
2.5,
is it?
yeah,
What,
2.5.
2 core like your Flex for your Flymo?
I believe you want a CPC in here as well.
Okay.
So 3 core, yes.
So, yeah, I wonder if we've got a video to help us understand this. Here he is. We'll probably see it earlier on, but it doesn't go amiss when you see he's balding quickly. He was livid with the change. Look at him. Off he goes. Anyone want to see it on Instagram? I've got the song from Aladdin playing at the same time there. So that's our little Aladdin. He wasn't aware of that today, so that was good. So a small change on that. So we're playing a little bit.
A small change. So everybody using their caravan to the last 20 years can now meet the requirements from today.
Right. Okay. It has to be orange now.
It said preferred orange.
Preferred, is it? All right.
I think it's so you can see it on the grass.
Contrast.
Yeah, well, that's why your mower one is that colour, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so you can see it while you cut it. Yes.
Yeah. No. Green wouldn't be good, would it, as a colour? Now, talking of green, why are you wearing a green top?
It's because we've got a promo from Schneider Electric, actually.
Yeah, we've got a little pro.
Explain it, yeah.
Let's have a look, see what Schneider have got in there. So let's have a Schneider Electric.
Right, electricians, imagine this. You head into your local wholesaler to pick up some Schneider Electric gear. You grab the kit you need, but instead of walking back to the van, you suddenly find yourself stepping up to the penalty spot. Because Schneider Electric have launched their Score to Win promotion, and it gives you the chance to win some seriously good football prizes. Here's how it works. The Score to Win promotion runs from the 1st of April through to the 30th of June 2026. To take part, you need to spend £250 or more on Schneider Electric products at a participating electrical wholesaler. And there's loads to choose from. If you spend £500, that's 2 entries. And you get unlimited place for every 250 quid you spend on an invoice. When you've made your purchases, you'll be given a QR code card in branch or sent a link for online purchases. Use these to access the game to play. Enter your details and fire in the invoice number to play. When you play the game, you take penalties until you miss 3 shots. And your score places you on the leaderboard for that month. At the end of that competition period, the top 10 players will win prizes for that month. All winners will be contacted by Schneider Electric, and you will need to provide valid proof of purchase to confirm your entry. You could be walking away with Premier League tickets, signed football shirts, stadium tours and vouchers. And one more thing, every player who takes part will be entered into a free draw where they could win a signed Diego Maradona shirt from 1986. Full terms and conditions are available on the promotional website. So next time you're picking up Schneider Electric products, make sure you grab the code, take your penalties, climb the leaderboard and see if you can score big with Schneider Electric.
Well, there we go. That's get down, get some spending done. You might win that. I haven't had a practice on that when it was online, and I did rubbish at it actually. So.
You're not a sporty person, are you? In football, you were always chose last, and people would say, "I'll have one less player not to have you on my team." When it was one of them, you have him.
All right in the fantasy football league. Actually.
Oh right, well yeah, the team that your son picked for you.
Yeah, but that's all in there.
Oh, I think we need some more guests. So who would you like to call out the green room this time?
Well, let's have a look. There we have got obviously one of the big changes in the book is chapter.
Is it?
57.
It's not verse.
Chapter 57. It's not section 57. It's chapter 57. And one of the big winners from that is obviously the battery storage industry. And to help us navigate those way through, we have got Lewis and Michael from Sigenergy.
Play the song. See you in a bit. Hi guys. Oi.
and honey on my drink. Never saw her face, and I'm a believer. Not a trace, a doubt in my mind. 'Cause I'm in love. I'm a believer if I try.
Yay! Let's keep it on him then. So here we go then. He is the Bez of the electrical industry, folks. We've got our own version. If you see him near a college or at an event, I think he's in London next week on Tuesday, make sure you walk up to him and say, I've heard you're the Bez of the electrical industry. Thank you very much for the amendments. Really good, really good. Right, so we've got the big boys in now. So you've got 60 seconds, Michael. Tell us all about yourself. And you're not done the race wall, so we're listening with intent, but not intent to do anything. So go on, in you go.
Yeah, evening everyone, I'm Michael Rae. I've been with Sigenergy for just over 6 months. My role at Sigenergy is to look after the channel, so I'm looking after distribution. Very much I would like to stay on the commercial side of the business. Right. I've been in the PV industry for about 5 years, so prior to that I was doing a similar role in another manufacturer. And yeah, looking forward to joining in the discussion tonight, particularly around the new battery guidance.
Lewis?
Luis Castillo, Sales and Solutions Director for Sigenergy in the UK and Ireland. So my role is both commercials and products, so I need to make sure the product is right for the market, in this case UK and Ireland, and also drive sales and working with the sales team like Mike. Previous to that, I was working with different manufacturers, EPC companies, and I also have a background on research when it comes to concentrated solar power.
Yeah, and folks, listen to him. He might be quietly spoken, but he's incredibly knowledgeable, folks. So when Lewis is speaking, but that means we need somebody else to level the playing field. So over there, who have we got in the green room?
We have got Steve just ticking away on the edge there.
Yeah.
Come in. He is stuck in the middle, Gary.
Is he?
Because he's obviously new regulations, new equipment. We do need a tame installer bringing in. So Steve, wondering.
It out. Obviously, you're in the middle of this, and obviously, you're in the middle of the race wall as well. So everyone's going to be really interested in your 60 seconds because there'll be some bets going on between the person who writes the book and the person that does it for a living.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't bet on me, maybe.
We'll see.
So I'm Steve. I work for TB Electrics, based in Cheshire. We're installers of solar and PV and battery storage. Big advocates of Sigenergy and their installation systems, really. So I'm the design and technical manager there. We're a team of around about 20. Pride ourselves on good quality premium work.
And what they've been doing today, your team?
So we're on a commercial project at the moment.
You sure?
Oh no. So yeah, I've avoided an office move, so we're in the process of moving office.
Like
yeah,
today?
I'd nearly forgotten today. I've got out of that, and I think there were a few cusses towards me while I left the office.
Okay.
But I'll get involved tomorrow, so I'll make it up.
Yeah, no worries. So the big office move, you're here with us, and you're representing the solar world on the race wall later on, and we're looking forward to taking on the old office over there. Yeah, the old office jockey. So
exactly.
we'll see. He's got Darren's in the room, so it'll be a complete moment when you get to lord over Joe that the fact you're still the fastest one at JPEL. Right.
Steve, have you read the book?
Yeah, I've had it cover to cover. Yeah, exactly. I can read it back verbatim. Not a problem.
Nice.
Yeah.
Loving it.
Same.
Did you pay a lot of money for yours? Oh, no. You paid more than we paid for ours at Dockstone.
Is this your?
Is that in confidence?
Is this yours? Is this yours? No, it's ours. That one's ours, isn't it? So I think that's ours.
Is it?
I don't know. Oh no, this is definitely yours. So when you came in,
don't bend it if it's
no.
mine.
So when you came in, you picked my brand new book up, didn't you? And you went and found a page, and then you folded it back on itself, didn't you? And you sat there like that reading it. Was I very pleased?
No comment.
No comment. Have you got a folding phone?
I do.
Get a folding phone out. Let's have it. Pass us your folding phone. He's going to get his folding phone. I hadn't seen a folding phone before because obviously Apple don't make them, so this must be some cheap thing. Who makes this? So, and you had your phone out like that, and I suggested I could do what with the folding of it? Could I fold it back round here? Like you
Well,
did
yeah,
my book?
if we do the same deal that we did with the book.
Well, yeah, look at it. Yeah, brand new regs, but you want to love it for a little while. You know it's going to look ragged to death, don't you? But when you first get it, yeah, it's like the first day, isn't it? It's like you want to keep it in mind. Lovely phone, by the way. Okay then, folks. So we've got a new verse, have we?
We have chapter 57.
Are you sure?
Yeah, well, I folded it back, guys.
Yeah, find it in my book. Yeah.
In the book, yeah. I'll look at that.
It's absolutely. So, chapter 57. Okay, it came in for what reason?
That's a need from the industry. But ultimately, again, standards filter down, don't they? But I think it came at a good time for the industry. They're going in thick and fast. Battery systems now, as I left the industry, not many battery systems are going in. I think the energy crisis, things like that, it's sped up, and you know, I think the standards reacted quite fast to that. It's coming in. You know, we had the quick on the PAS 63100 to help with the locations in domestic dwellings. But ultimately now within 7671, it's got its own chapter, hasn't it? Yeah. Which I'm sure people. I think standardisation is we want to all sort of be doing the same thing. Is it helps us pick products that are made to standards and we're fitting them for the intended purpose, and then for the installer and the designer is, you know, we're working to that common standardisation. I think it makes it easier and more fluid once we've got it standardised.
So that means, Steve, you must be shifting more batteries this last 12 months than perhaps you were in 5 or 6 years ago.
Steve's over there. I mean, Michael.
Cut that out, we'll do that again. Try that again. So I wait from there, I go from here and I go, Michael, we must be selling more batteries now this year than we have done in the past 5 years. Is that true?
Absolutely. You know, we were talking earlier on about the fact that I think 5 years ago when I was sort of first started in the PV industry, it was mostly solar only going in. Residential batteries were just starting to take off, but it wasn't a mainstream product. But I think since 2022 and beyond, and then the sort of, you know, the intelligent rates coming through and people wanting to take advantage of those, the residential market's become a completely different landscape, and it's not uncommon for us now. I think the average we see is 2 battery modules per system going out with, and we sell a battery with every system pretty much, but 2 batteries usually with every system. So yes, very common.
We will get to see your system. Your system is beautiful, and I've been up close and personal with it for 3 or 4 days, and it is gorgeous things to look at. So commercial stuff, have we put batteries in commercial, or are they just all signed up?
No, yeah, you've got the Sagen stack from the Sigenergy side of things for a commercial battery, 12 kilowatt hour batteries, and then you've got starting at 100 kilowatt inverter.
Starting?
That's the 50, is it? 50 kilowatt. Sorry, 50 kilowatt inverter.
I wasn't trying to correct you. I was just trying to be like emotionally.
So 50 kilowatt starting, and obviously there's more and more commercial battery storage coming into it now. A lot of sort of grid arbitration. You know, particularly if you can get sort of a cheaper night tariff. And there's certainly some money to be made, and also support the grid, you know, behind the scenes.
Got a little video clip of your guys, obviously speeded up. How much battery's going in here?
So this I believe is 481216. So this is 20 kilowatt. 20 stacks of 9 kilowatt hour batteries. So we're looking at 180 kilowatt hours of battery storage. You'll see a little bit of a mistake there where they realised they put too much there.
Per stack there?
There's 5 on the right. It should have been 4, but
he was just resting it there.
I hate me for this, but from a system perspective and from an installer perspective, you can just see how simple and quickly you can get nearly 200 kilowatt hours of battery storage on
in a week. Fitted that in a week.
Yeah, that's it, in a week. And I think that was probably an hour tops. I'd say probably less than that with the amount of gang on there.
And there was a mistake, and one lad did use his phone as well. If you look very carefully.
Yeah, I know they'd have been told not to for that, but hey, absolutely. No, it looks good. I'm proud of that.
So that's a bonus to have it. But would you class those batteries as stationary? Because they're moving quite quickly.
Yeah, they move very quickly there, but no, of course they are stationary. They're not going anywhere once you've got that stack. Otherwise, about 72 kg. Yeah. Good luck with them moving on their own.
We've defined stationary, don't we? So when we look in verse, is it verse?
No, chapter.
When we look in chapter 57?
57.
Good lad. So when we look in chapter 57, we've actually defined a stationary battery. Is that because we're worried about moving around on wheels like with balcony solar, or what's the idea of defining stationary?
If it's a permanent installation, isn't it? So with BS7671, we deal with permanently installed. So that's stationary. And secondary because we charge them up.
Right.
Yeah. But this is for electrical energy systems to the installation. There's many things it's not. It's not the batteries in your fire alarm system. It's not UPS systems. It's not central battery systems. It's not emergency lighting. This is bed systems.
Yeah. So whereas some smart aleck would say, oh, well, yeah, my emergency light fitting don't go anywhere, that must be a stationary battery. We've defined in, is it chapter or verse?
It's
You're
50.
still looking.
You've got scope and in scope and out of scope, haven't you? Plus, some definitions have come into part 2 again to help with that. So you'll have the cell, and the secondary cell is because the first time I heard the term secondary, he's like, what's that? Electricians used to the book, he's straight to definitions. Let's have a little look. Oh, that means rechargeable.
Yeah.
Stationary equipment, I think, was already in there, but you can, between your part 2 and your definitions of the new one's been introduced, and with the, what's in scope and what's out of scope in chapter 57, you can now clearly sort of define what Steve's doing is that's within.
Yeah,
But the fire alarm guy, that's out.
The scope actually of chapter 57 is huge. It does take. It's very descriptive actually.
It's very descriptive, yeah. So
pages,
he'll tell you what's in, and sometimes, as importantly, what's not included, what's out of the scope.
Yeah. So we're now fitting batteries. We're out there. You're not fitting solar systems. You may even be sitting standalone battery systems where obviously you've got no solar. What sort of help has the electrician now been given from BS7671 Well, I'm going to do a Michael piece now. ENS 61887 BS7671, so it was brilliant. He did that on his live thing. Did you see my montage of little things that I did on the back of that? It was quite funny, wasn't it?
It was.
You showed me one about that other guy, about safe isolation as well. That was quite funny. But
I don't remember that.
Oh, you don't remember that, do you not? Pulling fuses?
I don't recall that at all.
No, you don't recall it. What documentation can help support BS7671 for installations?
Well, I think the advice and the guidance given in here is going to be pointing toward where the installer can actually position the equipment. That's one of the things, where it should be installed, where it shouldn't be installed. Things like, batteries shouldn't be installed in areas where it could block escape routes or access to the building, in or out of the building, that type of thing. So it's all, a lot of it is about where to install the battery safely in the home. It's domestic related.
Yeah, it will be basically the inclusion of PAS on the British standards.
Yeah, so
recognition
As a recommendation, you can still see it that way, but now is be given more, let's say, attention through
weight.
BS
Yeah.
76.
So past 63100 now is mentioned in there, and we should be looking at that as
shall take account of is the word. Shall take account. So shall is a requirement.
Yep.
So we shall take account of PAS 63100, which was it's a free specification, so publicly available or publicly accessible specification.
So it's free.
Absolutely free. I think
Have you thought about doing that?
It was funded, I think,
Funded by
different
government,
parties,
yeah.
by government.
Yeah.
They've seen that need. It needs to come in quick. Let's fund it.
And that's been around for a couple of years, obviously. And I think there's still been maybe not complete awareness and spread throughout the installer community of that specification.
And I think we looked,
followed it to the letter. I think there's people probably still aren't aware of it, and I think it adds a lot of weight that it's within this document as well.
Yeah, and again, from the you bought a book here, but then being directed to a documentation that's free to download. That's great.
That's brilliant.
So we're not sending you on to get another set of standards that are horrendously priced, and you'd love the price of this book compared to them. Now, we talked about that, and you've got products that can do it. So give me an example of where we should be installing our battery inverter. Give us a classic case, Lewis, of where I should go with it.
Well, look, the battery, for example, in our case, it's been designed for indoors or outdoor use. When it comes to outdoor use, you don't need any kind of protection or canopy. It will be just a matter of following PAS recommendations, not blocking fire escapes or routes, not being, I think, 1 meter close to a window. So essentially, anything that blocks a pathway in the event of an emergency.
Yeah. Okay.
And we are looking at recommending installs of batteries outside of the building, so it's IP66 rated equipment. The batteries have warming plates inside, so that they will warm up if the temperature drops down to 10 degrees to prevent things like degradation of lithium-ion phosphate battery cells.
As you said that, you carried on talking because people are like, it's like, you've got to be careful. We'll come back to battery chemistry in a minute. I think we've got a little video clip of how gorgeous this is, if it hasn't come up when I've been looking away. So this is your system. So this one is inside and outside. This can go outside as well.
Yeah, it's IP66 rated.
It is beautiful.
When we launched this product, it was billed as the first the industry's first 5-in-1 solution. So it's a
the
solar
five.
inverter,
Yep.
it's a battery inverter, it's an energy management system, it's a built-in DC EV charger, and it's battery storage as well, all in one stackable system.
And that DC charging thing is incredible, but you're probably talking of a larger stack, but you can get up to, is it 20 odd kilowatts of DC to go into your
Well,
car?
you have two options, 12.5 and 25 kilowatts DC.
Yeah, so if you're the sort of person, you're flitting in and out of major cities and that, you want to come home and do a splash and dash, who would have thought you could have
got a couple of hours you can.
Yeah, I don't want to say a fast charge because people will jump in with huge kilowatt rate, but 25 kilowatts of DC going in there. That's going to be a quick charge, isn't it?
Yes.
It's beautiful, isn't it, Gordon?
It
Absolutely.
is, and I would say, obviously, reading in here, there's loads of requirements in here, isn't there?
In what?
In chapter 57.
There are. I think what we've got to look at with Chapter 57 is a lot of those requirements, when you buy what I call a packaged product, like what we see here, most of that's been taken care of. But if you're going to build your own system, you're going to go out and select your own batteries, you're going to select your own racking, your own earthing arrangements, your own electrical energy management system, your own inverters or PC equipment. When you're going to do all that sort of discrete parts and build that system yourself, that's where we definitely need Chapter 57. It tells you, sort of guides you and gives you your shell requirements on what you need to do to build that system. When you're sort of buying it off the shelf from a manufacturer, they've pretty much taken care of that with you, for you, I should say. You sort of follow their instructions, that should meet the requirements. And again, it should just read in Chapter 57, citing it where you need to cite it and connecting it up.
Yeah, I like the way you've done that because trusting your manufacturer is the best thing. Trusting a quality manufacturer always helps as well. And you'll come back to maybe some of the experiences you've had calling on them when you need some support and help and all the rest of it. Because I think I saw in one part then there was about having to have a B-type RCD. And then later on down there, actually, no, you've got to take into account what they asked you to put in as an RCD. But if you're doing what you said, you've got to use a B-type RCD.
I think it comes from, again, from inverters, doesn't it? So when we draft regulations, we also look at parts of the book that work
It's
well.
married very much with 712. If you look at the requirements for a PV inverter, is the requirements for the RCD is very similar, and that's something that the committees would do is let's try and keep that common language and keep it as adhered as possible. You know, technically, if you can, and you'll see the requirements if you're into PV for an RCD, it is you put a B in unless otherwise, which the manufacturer is saying you can use an A, you might be using an A. It says pretty much the same in Chapter 57. So again, that's the committees working together to make sure.
That's the problem when people half read something. Because then you go in there and think, oh, it's got to be on a B. I've just looked in there. It's
It says where required.
But you remember, you've got 38 seconds to look at it and you've eventually found it. You know, you're short of time. Where do I find it?
Well, Chapter 57 now.
Still look down every time.
You don't know what captures out. But I would echo that because when a few years ago we did our first solar battery install here, and we very much thought it was a kit of parts you were getting, and there was bits you had to source yourself, like an isolator for the batteries, which a lot of current in flowing into those.
Did you
batteries.
say isolator?
What is it now called?
Means of isolation.
I've been using that. Even Rick went, you've had a stroke of gas. That's what you always call it. I was like, I don't know, I've done that. Yeah.
A means of isolation, and they were quite expensive and big. And then we had to debate: do we put it in a metal box? Should it be in a plastic box? And then we had to find the earth bond relay. We had to mess around with that.
Yeah.
And you realise actually you're dealing with literally a kit of parts. Now I'd sort of say, if you look at your kind of system, it's almost the bulk of this chapter in a box, isn't it? Drop it in place, bring your cables in.
The beauty of standards that, Gordon, is, and it brings it together, is early adopters, is you're finding a lot, it's difficult for the design, and like you say, just trying to find the right means of isolation that's going to work with your system. Now, it's standardised, and the manufacturers are trying to meet the requirements for the installation by putting it in the product, so then the customer's buying the easiest option for them, isn't it? So again, the joy of standards makes it easier for the end user.
Now, to go with that, obviously one of the other things that's not in Chapter 57.
Well done for looking.
He didn't look there, giving it all star.
There's obviously the switchgear that goes with it and things like consumer units. There's been a major change there as well, which we didn't realise.
No, we sat all there embarrassed. We had to go upstairs.
This is a real big one. This is a really big one before, and there's been lots of guidance about this.
Yes.
This again, come internationally, it's from the switchgear standard. So as standard makers, we've done very little other than sort of make the wording better for this. But there was when people were trying to integrate into existing systems, so if you had a consumer unit and it was rated at 100 amp and you had a 16 amp or 32 amp solar generator, the regulation before stated that the switchgear had to be rated for the size of the incomer, so to say 100 amp, and the size of the generation. So therefore, you could potentially, because of thermal overload, have 132 amps in that consumer unit. It could also be the difference between a 2,000 amp panel board, and you put a big sort of BES system or solar system and a 4,000 amp panel board as well, unless you sort of had to go and tune down the incomer or put some fuses, your own sort of incoming fuses before that, to make sure you didn't overload your switchgear. And you might have seen some manufacturers who had switchgear that you could run a 16 amp generator and a 100 amp incomer into that. That was difficult at times.
Very, very difficult, because that was it was a 2022 regulation, so I suppose that's something that's changed quite quick. 55172 at the time it was, and it was, as Darren said, that assembly needs to be rated for basically the protection for the assembly plus that parallel generation. Put them together, that's your assembly. Again, you know, some manufacturers is consumer unit design, give you sort of maybe conditions going. If you put the generator there, we will rate that 116 amps, so quite quick with manufacturers. But it was recognised, I suppose, internationally that there is other methods, that's not just one method. It made it quite, let's say, a tight requirement. And now there's different options. So now 55172.2 gives you these other options.
I think it's 3 more options, isn't it?
It is. So there's different options for the installer to select now to meet that requirement, to make sure, because it's heat really, isn't it? We don't want to overload the assembly. Generally, we always had the supply coming in one side of the assembly. We've got a protected device. There's no chance of overloading that. But all of a sudden, you're going to take another supply in. Whereas our coordination, overload coordination, and now there's different options. Like we can go. You've got a common protected device. So ultimately, taking both through the common protected device. That's fine. We recognise customer limitation schemes. So many inverters, if not all, now have some sort of customer limitation scheme. Import, export. Generally export with a PV, but you could make that work in this scenario. A lot of people sort of quote G100, the ENA engineering recommendation, but you could use that to limit the generation going into the board. So ultimately, you could measure what's being used in the board. Is ultimately, if you're pulling too much current going through it, your inverter would just roll back. So you're using then dynamic management to ensure that...
Low curtailment, isn't it?
That's it,
So
yeah.
a CT, as we're so used to it in our industry, the inverter would go, I know the enclosure is drawing more current than I want it to get to, and just pulls itself back.
Modulate down, and then modulate back up.
But there's an easier way now, isn't there? Well, there's a different way. I didn't say easier. We'll edit that one out as well as the Steve Michael moment we had earlier on. Yeah, you're having your moment later on, though, aren't we?
No.
Which race did we record? The first one you did brilliantly?
Naturally, no. You possibly recorded the
second one,
which was
an absolute,
the worst.
Yeah, it was awful. So there is a better way. So wait for this. So because a lot of publications have come out with the scenarios very recently as well, because I actually showed it to a bunch of students at a training centre in Oxford, and now highlighting the new one actually removes all of those if we do what, Joe?
So are we talking about the total connected load scenario
We are, so
now?
knowing it, yeah.
So if you know what the total connected load is of your installation, and we're talking about looking at what the current's drawing, we're not using diversity.
Say that again for the audience. We're not
using diversity, so it's total connected load, not including diversity. So ultimately, there's no chance you could have, let's keep it domestic, is 100 amp assembly, but ultimately is if you've only got 60 amp of total connected load, by all means put up to 40 amp of generation within that, because it can't be overloaded due to the constraints of the total connected load. If you use that method, Gary, you need to put a warning notice on, because ultimately you're not really using protected devices, they're using the limitation of the loads connected to it. So you need to be good to the person who's going to come and do the additions and alterations next time. Oh, we've got this is the maximum total connected load of this assembly. So that's another option.
Is that a sticker or a label?
I'd say a warning notice.
He said label earlier from sticker, and we went to warning notice then. That's the third thing, yeah? You knew that as well, didn't you?
Yeah. I knew where you were going.
So we have a label, was it?
Warning notice.
Warning notice on there saying that effectively the electrician has suggested that total connected load is this.
Yeah,
so if I go in and then think, I'm going to put an electric shower in, hang on a minute, what does this mean? Yeah. It means I've got to now look at it again.
That's it, and go back to sort of probably the oldest regulation, 132.16, when we do additions and alterations, that's something you should be taking into account anyway, and it's just helping that next installer, because you've worked out what all the connected load is. You might have even data logged it, but ultimately you're probably looking at what the design current is of each circuit. You're saving them doing that work again, aren't you? You're saying, you know, I turn up, I go, oh right, that's the total connected load of that assembly.
Yeah, I love that one because we were seeing scenarios where we were taking things out. I know we ain't got heat pumps and all that. Let's say we're at this basic stage, we're taking stuff out, Henley blocks and splitting, looking at the main fuse. The main fuse is only 80. We're all right again now.
They were options, design options we were using. I think the IT have a great article on this as well.
We work hard on getting that information out. Yeah,
they're free as well.
Have you thought about that?
Wiring Matters.
They're free.
I co-wrote one of the Wiring Matters articles, if that was what you're asking, Gary. But is the guidance on the Wiring Matters.
And I've seen it in several publications, and I was desperate to make that video, wasn't I? Yeah. I kept saying we've got to make it, even if we can't get anyone to support it. I just want to own that video because I think it's great for electricians to understand it. And you've just gone, if we'd have made that video, the next answer is actually better because that should be your first port of call. Know the total connected load. Put a warning notice.
Could you make it out of a label?
It could be sticky as well. It can be sticky. Yeah. So, and again, then all of a sudden, we haven't wasted a load more money. That's always my biggest thing. I think the ECA are brilliant for that. And I know Shide in the past used to kick back and say, "This is going to cost my members money, time. What's the improvement?"
It's options. So the ECA, it's all about doing things safely. You know, using good products, good manufacturers, applying the regulations safely. You know, so. It's options. The Tangerine book now gives people more options than before.
Yeah. Now, we talked about where we're going to locate it. Now, you're going to row against this. We love an energy poor installation. Likely to have one window, one front door at the front, one window, one door at the back. So what are we doing?
I just think it's a bit of common sense. I think we were talking about it earlier, weren't we? You know, if we have to stick really rigidly to that 1 metre rule from a door or window, you could exclude a huge population from solar and battery storage, and generally those houses may be sort of a poorer, maybe sort of energy poverty. They're the ones that need the most support.
I'm that person. So I've got a front door window, back door window. I couldn't have an outdoor battery if I followed those rules.
Yeah, that's
if I rang you up, are you going to blow me out?
No. I mean, you know, you've just got to think logically about it, and this is where, you know, we can sort of discuss with Sigenergy. We could look at white papers and make an engineering judgment on it. And, you know, obviously if we're going to then maybe install it on a wall that you don't have to pass in order to escape from your escape route, I just think a bit of common sense needs to come into it. But then, you know, when you're looking at like a loft installation, that should just be a big no-no, should be a bit of a red flag. So, yeah,
just say that again, and I'll bring in the hand cam. So, just say that again. What about lofts?
Yeah, avoid the loft installs, Gary. I believe it's shoddy work.
How many days before that came in did you, Rick, get yours up there, mate? So, just get a mic. Rick's going to be on mic. He's going to find himself a mic.
What's up?
You're listening to this. You got music playing on your headphones. You managed to get yours up in the loft, but you did. But you did some more stuff. What else did you do?
With what?
Bring me back in. Good talk, Rick. Good talk. Gee whiz. We're not paying the staff to stay late, and that's what you get, folks.
That's denial.
So I love that, because all of a sudden then you've got to go back to the manufacturer and actually say, we're going to tweak. So we come back to you and we say, we're going to put this battery at the front, we're going to be in these locations. Are you going to say no?
No, I mean, because from the product point of view, like, there is nothing that puts the battery at risk. This is all in terms of wire regulation and past, like, we will give, as long as all the clearances and are respected from the product point of view, we wouldn't have a problem. But obviously, we also don't want to incentivize anything that goes against regulation. So like Steve was saying, on a specific situation, I guess you are allowed to do some common sense and put, if there is some engineering around it, it shouldn't be a problem. But I guess this is something that the industry will come together in the next couple of weeks, in the next couple of months, because he is right. It is a bit restrictive. Like, when you have that 1 meter restriction, like, you could be leaving out a lot of people without access to batteries.
Yeah, I agree with that one. So as I said, if I hadn't have put mine in my downstairs plant room and I followed the rules, I couldn't have one. What are you laughing at? Is it early to laugh in there? You were? No. There's also a basin and a toilet in there now, but I'll put them in afterwards, and they're very handy. Yeah,
and an air fryer.
yeah, it's very close to it. Yeah. So I like the fact that we can come to you, we can get that support, and you can say to us, actually, we can bend the rules, but then you've got to get that MCS passed, haven't you?
Yeah, and I know sort of part of the sort of documentation that we're putting through now at TB Electrics, you know, there is a part to sort of, do you comply to, you know, past 63100? And I think there is an option for any sort of areas you may have not, but then
just look at departure.
Yeah, and sort of justify it as to why, really.
Yeah.
So I think anything that just gives thought of an install instead of lashing it in, I think is a good thing, really, as long as it isn't too restrictive in what we can do.
That's refreshing.
Safely,
That's refreshing.
To be honest.
So, I mean, I guess there's a lot of people out there, the systems out there, isn't it, where people are just cobbling together, say the kit of parts, bunging it on a wall is different to a fully integrated system that's monitoring the batteries.
Well, that's it. And you know, the level of safety that you guys, I'm sure, you know, Lewis can talk better about it. You know, the level of safety within the battery, the inverter, and you know, looking at the cell temperatures, if a battery were to fail, for it to continue to work. I just think it's there to support regulations as opposed to block it. You know?
Practical example of that?
I guess, I mean, we took a phone call from Sigenergy for an installation that we'd done, that we'd had to retrospectively fit a fire breaker. And initially it was a 4-hour. We brought it down to 2 hours after a white paper that was shared. And that pushed the inverter temperature way too high. We got a proactive call from Sigenergy HQ as a concern. So we then have addressed that. We've installed a full plumbed-in air conditioning unit, and the problem has disappeared. But again, I just think it highlights that sometimes we're too cautious, you know, from an insurance perspective, and we should trust the experts in battery storage, such as Sigenergy, in terms of trusting their, you know,
the battery
systems.
told them to get you out there.
Yeah.
And we are worried about these things. Yet the gas pipe doesn't tell anyone anything, does it?
No.
It just sits there, doesn't it? It ain't connected to an app. It just sits there.
Doesn't matter.
And we're not worried about that.
No.
Yet we're worried about battery.
Yeah.
Battery chemistry is incredibly safe now compared to what maybe we're thinking about batteries. You know, you've said many a times you've got a laptop, you've got a phone, several phones at home, and all the rest of it. The battery in there is the ones that are nasty, and we've even bust a few of those. So again, it's that, you know, you're not only you've got great chemistry, but it will tell me we've got a problem. But you said in your rack system, maybe we're doing large container-based stuff, Lewis, that it's even more intelligent. What have you done to mitigate the risk there? Because that's the big fear, isn't it?
Actually, both the residential and the commercial system, they both follow the same architecture when it comes to safety. We use AI for monitoring. They have dedicated fire extinguishers, decompression valves. But all of these are safety nets. We have an element of AI. We constantly monitor everything that is happening on every single battery pack that is installed, because we have a modular system, and we proactively disconnect that battery pack if we detect if there is an issue before the fire extinguisher or the decompression valves have to activate. So,
and you've got a sensor, say, on every battery?
Every battery pack.
You can turn every battery pack off?
Yeah.
And there's a fire detection system in every one as well, you said. So, I mean, what about the gas pipe?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, it's just, this is ridiculous.
I
ridiculous
think,
level of safety.
A lot of the issue is because, as you can imagine, battery technology or PV technology, in every aspect is moving very fast.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these regulations, the moment you start thinking about it, it takes 2-3 years going ahead. By that time, we already move 2 years ahead. Like the safety technology that you have now, I'm probably sure by the time they start writing PAS, it didn't exist. So obviously you were writing a regulation based on technology that didn't exist. Now, batteries are much safer, or they can be much safer if they follow the right manufacturing protocol.
And that was a great conversation we had earlier on, because it was like, oh wow, you know, these things, yeah. And you mentioned AI there, so please stay on. Obviously, people panic and run off when AI. You spend as much money on hardware as you do software. Is that right?
Yes, Sigenergy is a technology company, but we are as much a software company as we are a hardware company. Like, we take care about both in-house. Everything that Sigenergy puts in the market is done in-house, developed, designed, and manufactured in-house. We don't want anyone else interfering with our product. This way we can make sure, and we have the guarantee internally, that whatever we put in the market is safe and is up to the standards that we want it to be.
And I think that's careful there on the wording. It's your AI. You've not got it as a third party. So you use it. And again, I think we've got a little bit of a clip of that. We'll play it as we go through. I looked at the app stuff that you were showing me. Rick's really interested in AI. It's a bit like apps to me. I sometimes turn off. But you've got it intelligently learns what you're doing. It'll do its charging sequence. You can tell it when you're on holiday, so it doesn't come up with a new sequence when you spent 2 weeks. It probably takes around 7 days to learn your standard practice, whether that be early morning use, leave in the afternoon, or the rest of it. And do I have to interfere? And am I constantly in there tweaking my AI app, or is it going to just do it and leave me alone?
No, not at all. The CN AI mode is an optional operation mode where the end user allows the system or give autonomy to the system to do the charge and discharging. And this will be based in the weather, it will be based on the electricity tariff, the system size, and the behavior of the consumer. The system will learn the behavior when electricity is normally needed, and it will save or charge or discharge the battery accordingly.
Yeah.
It will also take preference of the end user if they are more keen on doing export or they are more keen on self-consumption. So once the AI operation mode is activated, then
you leave it alone.
Yeah, the system will take about 7 to 10 days to tune itself.
Yeah.
And then you don't need to interfere.
I like that, because when you first get it, you're probably obsessed with the app. I wasn't. I didn't even look at it once. I couldn't find it, and all the rest of it in my app when I got mine. But you're obsessed with it for that 7 days. Now, I'm going to be really brave here, and I know we haven't practiced this bit. AI app in other people, how much does yours cost?
No, this is included with the system.
So how much do I have to pay for it?
Nothing.
Have you ever tried that?
Did I say the wiring matter?
It sounds like a good idea, because Gary bores the pants off us with his app. He's always messing around with his solar system. He'll ring his kids and tell them to have a shower because there's too much energy floating around.
I exported 600 watts today.
So he doesn't know, but he does know. So I noticed there's some new notices in here as well for stationary battery systems.
Are they notices, stickers, or labels? What are they?
It says notice in here, a warning notice. Can I implement a warning notice in the form of a sticker?
I think you can, yeah.
There you go.
Right, okay, so it's a warning notice sticker.
Yep, so you've got a sticker to put on there. And I've
Where does it go? Where does it go? Because I've read it.
The origin of the supply, so people know when they're messing around.
Yeah, so where would the origin of the supply be then?
Well, you bung it in a meter box.
And where else?
On the consumer unit.
Well done, if they're not together. So if they're both together, you only have to do one. Did you read that or guess it?
I just guessed that, really.
Yeah, right, okay, well done. Yep. What verse is it in?
It's not, it's in a chapter. Chapter 57 in there. And there's a new sticker for combined PV and battery system. And I've just noticed something in it. Was
it a notice or a sticker or a
I thought
label?
Roman numerals had gone.
Are they back?
No, so there's a sequence, there's a weight, so it'd be alphabetical first, and then if you've got another list below that, then you'd fall to...
What's the other list in?
So the Roman numerals is the second list. There's actually 3. I think if you find something with a list that's weighted is like subordinate 3 times, it'd be then probably dashes.
I'm pleased that, because Joe was worried. He likes his Roman numerals.
Right, okay, that's good. So they're still in.
Lots of clauses.
Yeah, so, changes with changes. So we've got some great stuff there. I think it's 3 pages, 4 pages a minute. That's going to get bigger. It's not going to get smaller, is it?
Yeah, I think it's just a starting block.
Yeah.
I mean, standards are developed all the time. It's really important that this came into this standard. Right. I could only see this getting bigger. Yeah. And we're not speculating here. We know new technology. You know, technology has evolved in the last 10 years.
Fast, isn't it?
Faster than 30 years before.
And it's good to see the regs incorporate actually what is technology, isn't that load mitigation devices is relevant. You're packed with it, we know that. You've got a great gateway that sorts all this stuff out, but actually to see that starting to creep in to regulations instead of having, obviously, diversity. Everyone gets away with murder on that, depends on...
You fessed up to it earlier on, you went, that'll be fine, you went every time. I've doubled the lights up for a spare way, you've got it's fine. That's it, we're in.
It's whatever works to get the job done.
Redo the calculation if it didn't work.
Yeah, and measure it. If that didn't work, I'll measure it until I get it.
So you get the output you need, engineering.
Those lights aren't flashing in sequence, well, make them flash in sequence. Interesting, so there's some bits not used, right? There's already, I can see 3 in this chapter 57, 570.2, .3 and .4 not used. Why would you do that already to think, why is those gaps left in? Is that something that didn't make
keep
it?
the price high, isn't it?
Yeah. That's what it's free.
That's all part of standardisation.
Right.
So the number and sequence is all part of standardisation.
Right.
So it's not used. It's so it can come in later.
Right. So there's some stuff to sneak in here as we go down, is it?
I wouldn't say sneak in. I think it's just stuff that's to be developed.
Right.
But a lot of those things probably are covered by other areas of the book already.
Yeah.
Right.
The standard for standards demands it.
Is that free?
I think that's a record for free.
Yes, zero. Yes,
Is it free?
It is.
Have you thought about that? Everything's free apart from this book. This is not been a great noise.
Don't you worry.
Yeah. Standards for standards. Yeah, you can't get over it, can you?
If we're worried about cost, we talk about digital wiring regulations. That's
that
another
free?
option. There's a
free?
cost of that, but there's a different method of using the wiring regulations. There is quick search, bookmarks, is the new version, is even within the DPC comments on readability of text, is you can change then the font, you can change like a contrast, the background's a bit of a different colour, and I think then...
Is that dyslexia friendly? Have they gone for that?
Yeah, you get a sans font rather than a Times New Roman, is so then readability. And if you're an old user of the electronic wiring regulations, the bookshelf system is now, it comes in instead of pages, it comes in sections. So I can go, let's have a look at chapter 57, and you can scroll throughout chapter 57. Again, the bookmark features, and that, me as an electrician and as a consultant, I prescribe to that, as well as actually I'd buy the wiring regulations, but stuff like your guidance notes 3 is the EV charging, the solar PV, I'd use the electronic package on that, and it's quite cost effective to use.
Yeah, I think it's an annual subscription, isn't it? I think
annual subscription, yeah, and I actually bought it in a 5-year package, then got a job at a certification body 2 years later who supplied it, and then within a year I was at the IET who then supplied it, but you can buy it annually, or I think if you do a longer subscription then...
I just want to try one thing out. All I need is a bit of facial expressions and some hand gestures now. So can we bring Paul Elcott in when I heard digital book, please? And then can you give me your hand gestures for digital book? So Paul, you're on camera now? Yeah, okay, yeah. Go down the dogs. I'll do chapter flags.
I like to say as well, is we've talked about the price, we keep talking about the price of it, but the standard, the BS7671, it's made up of them multiple harmonised documents, 40-odd harmonised documents put together. Other countries buy them documents separately, can pay well over €3,000 for the series. They put together, it works together. And as an electrician and consultant myself, I was from a PV background, got into PV early, and then we was carrying out maintenance and specifying maintenance packages. If you look at 712, the 62446 series, that's made of 1, 2 and 3. Is ultimately you probably need parts 1 and 2 if you're doing solar PV maintenance, 3 if you're going to do the thermography on the bigger systems. Each one of them parts are £300. So you buy them 3 parts of the 62446 that there's no inspection and testing requirements in 712. It just posts that other standard because there's a standard for it. But that is, if you compare it to things like that, homegrown British standards 5839 is the series. We generally had parts 1, we had parts 6 as I started contracting sort of in 2006 on. A building this size, the electrician quite often took the fire alarm system on, but you needed the 5839 to know how to design and install it. Again, just them two, the parts 1 and part 6, you're probably looking at probably £600. Emergency lights 5266. So as all them books cost more, less size, but I suppose economies of scale is it's used a lot, BS7671. So I think for the value of that, I never grumbled as an electrician. It was the tool, is, you can, we like tools, as we said before, you can get a drill that doesn't last the 4 years that costs more than that. So I think it's good value for money for what you're getting compared relatively, let's say.
Yeah, it's a bargain. Get one down at Dock Store. You can order them online. Any offers next day delivery. Do not use Jeffrey. Use Dock Store, where Paul will be servicing your every need.
No, because we have. Yeah, it's interesting because we've got the digital subscription. Sorry.
And we've only bought one book from him, and the other 2 rogues went and bought it from somewhere else.
I was like, we just renewed the digital subscription last week. I saw it go through. I was like, right, okay, we've got the digital subscription. Then everyone this week's ripping it. It's all right, lads. I've got a copy. Walking through the door. So it's like, So I think we've spent as much on these as we have on the digital subscription that gets us this, all the codes of practice and everything.
I think some people...
Let's bring Paul back in and see what his facial reaction is for that one. Yeah, he's over the moon. Look, he's like, well, why did we buy one from Paul? So, hang on, you've talked a good game there. Absolutely talked a good game. Lots of numbers. We've managed to keep some of the people on. Okay, some of the people stay on. I think it's time to give the minute countdown. I think we ought to.
Yes, we have got an absolute treat of an electrician's challenge tonight. Yes. We obviously got Joe, fresh meat from the IET. He's got something to prove because his other colleagues are already on the board.
Sprayed on that
And
board.
obviously has to take on our tame installer, Steve, who still he says he dabbles in the tools now and again. His colleagues would like to argue differently. So that sounds like a great challenge. So put in the comments who you think was fastest. Was it Joe and his time, or was it Steve and his time as well? I haven't seen this. I think it is going to be good because I could hear gasps and exasperated. There was blood.
Yeah, IET spilt blood over it. We had a conduit with no hole at one end. We had all kinds of stuff. Yeah,
Get that time in. Yeah.
And it's not the end of the fun because we've got two of the shortest electricians I've ever met also taking on a challenge this evening as well, and that is a true piece of fun. So get your times in for this one. There is a prize. You get a chance to ring Jennifer. That isn't your prize, but she will send you out in the post a limited edition hat. They're at the front here, sponsored by our good friends at both Quickwire and ChumpFix, and they're a limited edition to 100. So if you're lucky enough to get one of those, only other 100 people will own it before we usually retire the hat, and then we bring out another one. So they're limited edition to 100. And if you get a signed one with Gordon's name on, it's worthless. So there you go. We're in. So defend yourself at all times here, folks. Whoever's up, your mic is live.
Everyone's betting on Joe here at the minute.
Are they?
Are they? Yeah. Oh, fantastic. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Late call for Steve.
Come on.
So, your colleagues are backing you here.
Yeah, they must be.
You could have
One fan.
Right, let's see. I haven't seen this.
No,
Come on, Steve.
I wasn't close up, so here we go. So who's up first? Is it going to be the tube or the blood? There we got. I've got no idea. And so it's Joe. Joe's first.
This is a leisurely start.
Yeah. Is it? Are we plastered up on this one? Was it this one you bled, or was it?
I like that.
Yeah.
No, but I used that tape for the plaster. I've still got the electrician.
Yeah. That's good.
Already taped again. We haven't even got the front off.
No one's ever done that. No one's ever done that. So that's good. Still can work a screwdriver unless we've speeded it up. We probably have. So here we go.
Full head of hair. That's good for the challenge.
Yeah. In what? Oh,
Right.
Is there?
Bad shot.
That was quick. But we don't know where is his first attempt, folks. Yeah, he's round the corner.
like
And into the top of the consumer unit. Now, 3 runs. It was the best of your runs. Which run do you think was the best if you were betting?
Oh, croppers.
No, we had
Probably
to.
the first go. I was fresh in. Is I think.
He whinged when he got here. I had to find him a special set of Klauke croppers. We've got a CPD from Klauke coming out very shortly, hence the lugs on the table. You may have noticed them. I will move them around at some point.
The wrong cable went.
Little fumble there. So here we go.
Wrong terminal.
That's it.
I was focusing on the lens at the back. I was trying to look good for the camera at the back.
Yeah, no, it's camera don't lie. Look at that wristwatch. Look at that. Do you get a phone call or a text during one of
I
your
got a text. I don't know if it's on the screen. Yeah, my friend texted me.
Yeah, brilliant.
As Rick was leaning over my shoulder. Yeah. I checked it. I replied and then carried on.
So here we go then. So it hasn't been a while. So it looks like I'm always worried because Joe sometimes speeds them up. So that hand speed, everyone thinks, it looks blindingly fast, and it wasn't. So that's good, nice and tidy. Are you a separate fly lead or do you pull and cut? No, you're a separate one. Croppers. You like them croppers, didn't you?
Fresh out to the packet.
Fresh out the packet.
And they take a bit to work loose, don't they?
Yeah.
I think I'll be faster next week with them.
Yeah, next week. Yeah, there we go. Text.
That's the text.
Yeah, there it was.
There we go. It's your mum.
Yeah. What are you up to? That is good.
Not now.
If that ain't speaking, that's really good. Steve, you worried yet?
Always.
Yeah, always. Well, yes, the run we're going to see was just an absolute disaster, wasn't it?
I think it's because I changed to the croppers.
Oh, did you?
Because I used the side cutters for the first one.
Right, okay.
I think that was it. Yeah.
What made you change?
You put everything on the floor.
I don't know. I just thought you looked great.
Brown nosing. It won't work, folks. So in we go there. You left everything on the floor, tools, bits of cable, and your pride. Didn't you trod on that on the way out the door?
Still not really. I've not found it, to be honest, yet. So yeah.
Looks decent. Oh, we're back in.
Bit of a pause here.
Oh, hang on. So look at that. Yeah, I'd have chucked the proppers on the floor. So one screwdriver, one set of croppers. Pretty much one screwdriver for the lot. Did you just flathead for the whole thing?
No, we used the posi type for the top.
The posi type.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called.
You don't know what they're called.
What would you call it?
Slotty posi.
Slotted posi, yeah. Well, I didn't know the terminology.
Well, is it a label, a sticker, or an advice notice? Gee whiz, you don't even know what a screwdriver is, folks. If this bloke gets anywhere in the top 25, don't even know what a screwdriver is. Here we go then. So here we go. Here comes the Sparky. Next up. So come on then. Come on, Stevie boy. Here we go. Now this should be awful. So hopefully we haven't done much editing on this because this was
No injuries for this one?
No injuries, no bloodshed.
He shattered his pride.
I think seeing the blood on the socket was what made it.
Only emotional.
You know?
Only emotional pain.
Oh, hold on, we've got
Or a
bit of
twister.
thin carpet as
Now,
well.
the idea of twisting is obviously to keep one slightly longer and keep it very small. If it struggles getting the first hole, which it didn't, it should come out the second hole. Oh. That's been edited.
Plot twist.
Hold on.
Plot twist. Swines.
And here we go. Now it doesn't go up.
Yeah.
Now you've lost it. Now we cut it off. Yeah, look at this.
Absolutely ruined.
Yeah, absolutely.
Head's gone.
Yeah,
Just,
it's
yeah.
like you've never wired a thing in your life.
I know. Pressure's an amazing thing, isn't it?
It is.
Slings a few solar cables around.
There we go. Yeah. We got it. We got it. We got all of them. That's my biggest fear. No, we have got all of them. That's good. Right. Okay, so you're rushing around this corner. No point.
Cover this here.
And this is the croppers go, is it?
Yeah, this was croppers, not side cutters, so yeah.
Yeah. Cry and watch photo fix.
Oh.
And then we got caught up. The lads will love this.
Oh, it's gold, isn't it? It's absolute gold.
Day off tomorrow.
Day off
yeah.
tomorrow.
They can move on their own. Yeah.
Strangling the cable with croppers.
Yeah.
Joe pinged them off like peas. Yeah. Here we go. You got the right screwdriver? Which one is it again, Joe?
Slotted posi.
It is. Yeah, solid posi. You didn't know it earlier, though, did you?
No, every day's a learning day.
Well, apparently,
Probably forget something.
Oh, look at that, look at that.
Sticker, label, what is it? Notice, don't know. Here we go. So we got all bit of copper. Doesn't matter.
Yourself there.
Yeah, you said it didn't matter. You know,
No, it doesn't matter.
Not
No.
for neatness, right?
No. Oh, I like that. You try to go down while screwing.
Well, I had a lot of time to catch up here at this point.
Yeah.
Right, here we go.
Separate fly lead.
Yeah.
Go. So so this should be good. This is your home nature down here. Should whip these out. What are we doing now? Cutting it off? What happened there? Or is it too long? Too much copper shown? So we're socket away from it. Remember, you get your fastest time. Your fastest time might not be the one we're seeing, and I would suggest for you, Stephen, it was
It's
not the
certainly not,
fastest
no.
one. No, it was
No.
awful.
So yeah, first one for me, I think. Just fresh in, no nerves, just at it.
No camera over your shoulder.
No, that was it. Yeah, didn't help not being recorded, I guess, as well. Fair play to some of these times up here. That's for sure.
Oh no! Brown nose
Are you thinking we're over there, Steve?
Well done, Darren Crannis. You're in the 4 minutes. Well done. Well done.
Well, anything below 4 minutes.
He's outrageous.
Oh, we're still here.
We're still going at it. Yeah, we're meant to edit this down. Jesus, absolutely. So separate CPCs. Gone separate?
Yeah, well, I just learned from,
Quality.
learned from Joe really when he tried it first time round. It didn't quite
Didn't go in.
did it?
They both didn't go in the same terminal.
Did you double split it on your run?
Not double split. He's put them both in the same terminal because Rick told me it needs to do high integrity earthing. So I tried to put them in the same terminal. It didn't work.
I thought we removed that in Amendment 2.
Yeah. Right, here we go. So we've got
Hopefully you've edited this bit as well.
Oh no, do you have a disaster here? What goes around there? You screw through your hand?
No, just couldn't get it in the hole.
All right, okay, let's hope.
I think the promise of giving you platinum status as an installer.
Yeah,
Under pressure.
that's it.
Yeah. Brown status. Well, I think we're going to get some time soon, but we've got a song before we've got the times, Gary.
You've done it all. You've broken every rule. Meaning, make it smile. Not do what you want, running wild.
I've got a feeling our copyright strike's going to go. So here we go then, folks. So we got the two of you up. Remember, we're always teasing. So Stephen, I would think you're in a good position. Joe, like I said, couldn't even name the screwdriver. That's not a great start. So who would you like to start with?
I think we've got to start with Steve, really.
Steve, we're going to start with you, Steve. Take your punishment. So obviously the times are on the board. Is there anyone in particular you'd like to beat?
Well, I think there was the only one I wanted to beat. I think it was Lee Dobson.
Dobby, little Dobby.
Used to work for us at TB Electric, so that'll be a nice little scalp.
And why did
I'll
he
be happy
leave?
with that. He got headhunted by a competitor of Sigenergy.
All right, okay. Offered more money, folks, that means.
Yes,
Okay, maybe. So which, well, you
decision.
darted that way. That wasn't a good sign. Are you going that way?
No, I'm not actually.
Oh, you're not?
Better than it looked, actually.
Oh, it
I must
looked
say, I was
awful.
shocked, actually. I picked-
You're on the electrician
There's some
wall.
gaps in here, folks.
There is now. The gaps don't give it away. Unfortunately, it looks like we are going into outrageous
Outrageous
time. Outrageous time. Now,
Come on.
I mean, there's Neil Bridgman, who coined outrageous. Dale Hunter, Mark Ellison, Damon Eden.
Oh, we're still going. Gaunty.
Yeah.
Oh, you're above him.
Slipping in. Actually, reasonably respect Paul Chaffers at
Yeah, we saw his RCVO. He put it in across 2,
Yes,
though,
he
didn't
did,
he?
yes.
So he had to...
He actually did it in 4 minutes and 8.
That is brilliant. Well done. That's a very respected. Darren, what did you do in? What was your time?
Just under 4, wasn't it?
Just under 4. What's Darren Crannis' time, please?
3:51.
So that is the top JPEL 60. You told me it was the top one, so don't tell me there's somebody above that. Now, Joe, do you think you're going to be above Darren Crannis?
Oh, I don't
No, I don't mean in height. I mean in time.
Fingers crossed.
Okay, right, here we go. Is he above... Is he on that board to start with?
He is on that board,
Right,
actually.
okay.
And obviously, loads of people on it. You've got, obviously, Darren Crannis, you've got your colleague Michael Rae, you've got Mark Coles down there.
Cole's he down here now, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's a good time, but he's
Quite good
slipping.
times. Actually, I mean, this was.
There's a gap there.
I am a mess around up here, actually. Are you ready?
Wow.
Now we're into...
Sandsy. No! No! Oh, we can't move it. Put him in there.
Who super glued that on there?
Probably Theo.
He did.
Right,
2 left.
2 left.
Another one.
Yeah? Are you ready for this?
You are joking.
No way.
No way.
Let's have the band just play something random. Wow. Come on! It's top! By a long way. By a long way.
Not lost it then.
Congratulations, it was brilliant. All your runs were great. So, yeah, fantastic.
There is a tradition here, Steve, that the slowest person has to...
Just to finish it off, here he comes. Into the green cable bin. Where we get to recycle your misery and get paid for the process.
No, I saw you.
Thank you very much. The link's in the description if you haven't signed up for Green Cable. Ed and the team there do an amazing job.
Was it the first goal?
We'd like to thank them for continuing to support both Cottage Connections and the live stream. And if you haven't got one of these bins, please sign up with the link in the description. There he goes. Well
It's
done.
not the fastest of JPEL, it's the fastest.
Aviation might be in the bin. Well done. You were
If you're
great.
going to lose your title, you've got to
back
lose
on.
it well.
Mate, you lost against the champ, so it's
I can't argue with that. Fantastic. Well done. Lose to the winning.
Fastest. I think it's been a long time. Because so I wasn't here when James was here, when Nicholas was here, when Theo was here to see him go top.
Fantastic.
So it was an honour to see. And we've got a new, that's like Roger Bannister. We've gone under the 40s now. We're in 38.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's 6 seconds off a world record.
Used to price for it.
So let's go back to those original things. Those people that can do, those who can't write the regulations. I would suggest he's got the full package. So congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, that was...
Yeah, and next time you see Joe, he will give you a free copy of the Tangerine book if you go up to him and say 2 minutes and 38 seconds. So remember that 2 minutes and 38 seconds, and a free copy will come your way. Okay, and again, because I said free copy, can we have a picture up there of the great man when he hears a free book? What's his reaction going to look like? Let's go to Doc Store and see what a free book would do to this man if we can bring him in now. Absolutely fantastic. Right, questions from the audience. That's where we're going to have to go next.
It is, but we've got another little challenge first.
Yeah, I thought we'd just give it a little... Do you not want to give it a minute? Because I've just lost all my excitement.
You've lost all your excitement.
All down the inside of this leg. It's
Oh,
the
right,
age thing.
okay.
It can do. We can do it in a second. So because we had Darren in, okay, and Darren had already done the race one, and you are the second fastest person at JPEL 65. I'm the first person to tell you that, so that's good. Okay, so that's an honour you get. And we've got the great Chris Horning, so he's over there. It's the Bez of the electrical industry. Maybe he'll play his tambourine for us if we give him away, folks. Tambourine boy, come on, tambourine! There he is. Remember, if you're down, is it the IET on Tuesday? You're down in with the IET, are you?
Yes, on Tuesday, yes.
Yeah, so if you want to go up to him, he's the Bez of the electrical industry. Get a photograph, put it on LinkedIn and say, I got the pleasure of spending the day with the Bez of the electrical industry. So you took him on, okay? So again, are we going to have any times for this one? Do you want a second hat?
We can. Well, we'll do the challenge first, and we'll take some guesses. Yeah, but we've got a tune obviously for it first.
But you could time it.
We have timed it.
No, I know they could.
Yeah.
If they see it first, they could work out by counting slowly 1 pink elephant, 2 pink.
They won't.
Elephant. No.
They can try.
Okay, it's 1 pink elephant, 2 pink elephant. Don't go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's quicker than time moves.
Challenge.
Okay, pink elephant. You going to bring it in first then? Let's play it.
We've got a tune. We've got a tune.
Play it. Play it. Play the tune.
Heavy metal thunder, resting with the wings, and the feeling that
Don't give him any booze. Okay.
I think you need to get him recruited there.
Yeah.
You've got a place in the band.
Yeah. So only a little place.
Have you done
Only a
that
little
before?
place.
Yeah, only a little place.
Yeah.
He used to do the triangle at school.
Yeah, he's good. Oh, we've got a winner for that one, so the phone will be free.
Oh, well, that's on.
Yeah, so Jenny's taking her phone call. Someone's getting the hats, sponsored by our good friends at QuickWire and ChumpFix. And if you haven't used either of those products, you're absolutely mental because they are fantastic and save electricians time. Now, talking about saving electricians time, we did a challenge. We had old school versus new school. We had the great technology provided by Viperclip against the hammer and clip. Okay, now you've got the perfect set of teeth to put 2.5mm clips in because that little gap in the middle can just hold the nail perfectly. And you said, I'm having the 2.5 clips and I'm going old school. And now we took Mr. Old School and gave you something new school, but let's see who won the Viperclip challenge.
From Warrington, Cheshire, coming in at 4 foot 9 inches, Chris Horn and his opponent standing at 4 foot 10 and a half, all the way from Swindon in Wiltshire, Darren Crannis. Round 1, fight!
Probably one of the most eagerly anticipated matches up we've had in the electrical industry, and we're going to see if those extra few inches on Darren is going to make all the difference. And already Chris is nearly halfway. He's actually gone beyond halfway. Darren is still on his second click, and Chris has done it. He's actually done it. Darren's still going. This is unbelievable. How's he come back so fast? Darren's actually getting some extra help here. I would never seen anything like this. Darren has finally come to an end. Not a great show. He didn't make that extra height count. Chris Horn, the winner of the Viperclipping Challenge.
Thank you ever so much to the great people at Viperclip. We are friends of them, and obviously we've been following their journey for many years. And we just proved again that it makes electricians' life easier and faster, folks. And if you're on price work, and you said the same, didn't you? The amount of time you could save by doing that back in the old days of price work, it'd just be a no-brainer. It's like saying I didn't want to give them battery tools. We went out with the old raw plug tool.
Yeah, technology, helps everyone, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And again, thank you very much for Viperclip for supporting a new segment we've got there. So that's really good as well. Now, times.
I'll just put the...
Are we going to get Bez in for this bit? Where's old tambourine boy? He's gone upstairs, has he? Now? This is his bit.
I'll have to do this. So I've got this.
We've just got a new leaderboard down here, okay, for people that are vertically challenged. Okay, so here it is. This is our new little leaderboard.
It's a board for little people.
Yeah, so as we come up
Chris
here...
goes top there in 18 seconds.
Wow, okay. Yeah. And he had the Viperclip.
He had the Viperclip.
So he's number one. Number two?
Number two is Darren. He's right at the bottom of the board. He's the smallest person with the clips.
There we go. So second. So there we have our vertically challenged.
He is second.
So as Gordon walks past
the optic.
we had to put it on for Chris because it is a little bit out of reach, so he couldn't quite get up there. He certainly couldn't get up there with Joe. Look at that, folks. We need to soak that moment in. Somebody at the IET has a clue, folks. There it is. Turn me out. Brilliant. Okay. Yeah, great fun. Absolutely great fun. It's been a blast today, folks. These people actually care about you, whether they be manufacturers. Everyone thinks manufacturers don't care. Installers care about their customers, and they certainly do. And then these people over here care about what we're doing in our industry and how we can drive it forward. Have we got any great questions?
I'm flicking back.
Yeah, so it's going to take us a few seconds to do this. Please don't leave us. There'll be a great end song, obviously. We're not going to have our normal AI-generated one. We'll be back to the amendments. And I'm sure if we just bring them in as I'm talking, we'd personally like to thank people that we'd never met before, that gave up their time to help Paul Elcott put together the amendments. They're the all that, and Bez is in there as well. Look, he is. Oh my word! Oh, he's in there. Yeah. So that's the amendments, folks. They are a bigger ukulele band than that, and they play regularly across the area in which we're currently living in, especially in Skipton. And we'd like to thank Paul and the team because Paul couldn't have had a busier fortnight in his life and still had to give up a day today to come and see us. And if you don't order your books from Paul, you're actually mugging everyone else off, okay? Because nobody else is going to give you them. It is competitive prices with next day delivery, unless you get them free when you say 2 minutes and 38 seconds to Joe at the next event. There we go. So all good. Questions, go.
A couple really. Just on whole house backup.
Yeah.
We never have power cuts in this country. Did lots of people go for the whole house backup option?
Yes, I will say maybe 30-40% of the systems.
Right.
But this is information that we get how the sales go through distribution and so on. But yeah, we were quite surprised, to be honest, at the beginning in the UK for the reason you just said. But yeah.
Yeah. And you've seen that as well?
People are doing it not just for power outages as well.
Yeah, generally people fall into it's either maybe rurally or just suffer from power cuts, or those who are concerned about their energy security and power cuts happening.
Right.
So it's sort of that protective before it does happen.
Right.
Again, the good thing is you can retrofit.
I think that there is also a sense of independency, like the fact that you can say that you are independent from the grid. This is one reason that we have seen as well, like they want to be independent. So this is something we see very common now.
And Steve, you're selling them in the areas like when I used to make neon signs. You obviously send the kids out with some catapults in the neighbourhood first to drum up a bit of business. You go around with a dog lead and sling it over the local power lines.
Yeah,
I've
that's
heard
it.
there's more power cuts in this area.
I mean, the number of installs we've done without a gateway because they don't get power cuts, calling us up saying, I had a power cut the day after you installed it. So I'm like,
what are the chances?
Yeah.
It's absolutely inevitable, though, isn't it, people? This is where we're going. We've had another energy crisis. It hasn't been 5 minutes since we had the previous one. Energy stability, whether it be personally or government level, I think you just got to take a little bit of ownership. I know people will say we can't wait for balcony solar, and the IET have said off record they are pushing as hard as they can to make sure it comes in. And Darren Crannis, he's missed a balcony solar, folks, and he will be standing there shouting for his members to make sure that we get that balcony solar. But in the meantime, obviously, those people are probably a little bit out of the way, but you've said you can solve some problems for them, which is fantastic with the position of your battery systems. But people really want to make sure they've got the energy. Energy crisis every time does it, doesn't it? Yeah, I know, I agree. Good system as well.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful. Next question.
Chapter 57, does it incorporate anything that's not already in the BESS code of practice? Is that the one? Where's that? That's a chunky book, that one.
I guess
Yeah, I would say it would, because there is things about locations in ventilation of different types, ventilation for your battery system, for heat, ventilation for any sort of off gases that you may have. I think a lot of it was probably farmed out to 63100 in the code of practice. So I want to caveat, not 100%, but I think some of them things would be in there, and then inevitably, when that document gets updated, it would take in that.
But the code of practices are a sort of more practical guide of how to implement technologies, and also, before Chapter 57, there was only code of practice and manufacturer's guidance out there because technology is so new.
Right. It's a good one.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Any other ones you want to pick up as you go through?
All right, you keep talking. Well,
I'll just keep randomly talking.
Back through the
Support. Everyone wants support. That's the biggest thing. Whenever I hear anyone is transferred away from a manufacturer of battery and inverters, it's because of the support. How you found your time with Sigenergy?
Well, exceptional, really. I think that...
Had you moved from somebody else because it wasn't exceptional?
Yeah, quite possibly. Some that may no longer be around, unfortunately. But I think the key thing for me really is that I rarely have to use tech support. So that's the crucial element for me. But when we do, we can always get hold of somebody. I'm sure there will be times when it will be difficult, when it's busy, and as an installer, we have an understanding of that. And we're not demanding of their support and time, but they're there for when we need it, really. But it is on the rare occasion. I think we've installed between 850 and 900 individual pieces of kit. And I think 5 have failed. And I think as a failure rate, that's pretty good.
Did you wire it?
So, no. If I did, I wouldn't tell you.
You'd still be on with the job.
Yeah, I'd still be doing it.
So how much does it cost to ring the support help desk and get that kind of level of technology?
Do you know, it's free.
Free? Have you ever thought about that?
The IET helpline is free, isn't it?
There you go. So it's free. It's free.
Monday, Fridays.
Absolutely. Do you ever sit on the helpline?
I do,
Your
yeah.
time's free as well.
That's it. So you
Ring
get
up Joe. All you got to say is 2 minutes and 38 seconds. He'll post you out a free copy of the book. There you go. Hey, fantastic.
Yeah. You've got an engineer on the end of the phone. Mondays, Fridays is the
Just
times
2 days
on the
a week?
website. That's when it's open. Yeah,
Just 2 days a
because
week?
we have other jobs to do. The working 7671, but I was on Friday. People were ringing
It's not
up.
manned Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or different people man it?
No, it's only manned Monday and Friday.
I can't edit that out. You said that yourself, by the way.
That's it. Yeah, it's only open. The helpline
If
is
you get a problem
open.
on a Tuesday, you got to wait till Friday.
Yeah, so it's open to the members of the public as well as electricians, so you get calls off it either. Emails, you have an email system that's open all the time.
I bet you have some fun
I get
calls
told
on there.
if I get the wrong SLA back, but maybe within 10 days you get a reply to
panic,
the
though.
email. But
I'm not panicking.
If you're an ECA member, you can ring our
I was gonna
technical
say, many
helpline
people
5
who-
days a week.
And how much does that cost you?
Free if you're an ECA member.
Oh, what if you're not? Is it like an 08 number in the old days where they charge like 45p a minute?
It's only available for members.
Hello, my name's Darren. You've been a naughty boy.
Yeah, tell me off. So that's good.
Does anyone have to do any education now that the amendment's dropped out? CPD?
So providing you already hold an 18th edition qualification, so
Yeah.
you've got an 18th edition award, all that's required is CPD and good knowledge. So it's not quickly just looking at something and closing the book.
Okay.
It's actually taking that in, so you can go to events.
So give me an example of an event that maybe I was an ECA member. What sort of event would you class as a CPD on the 18th edition member?
So we have a CPD certified presentation. We're going around the country at the moment for our members, and we've done them online, and we've got some fireside chats. So we've got fireside chats.
Oh, don't I see them pop up anywhere? Have you been doing them regularly, or they're just starting?
They're just starting.
Oh right,
Yeah,
I was apologising for not watching some of this.
So we had a great fireside chat with the likes of Gary Gundry, Kayla Mansell from the IET, and our technical chairman. So we sort of done a deep dive for about an hour into the wiring regs and what it means for our members and the impact to our members, and also the new technologies that have come in. Some of the things we've talked about today, some of the things we haven't, like here, power over Ethernet and medical locations and bits like that. But yeah, we've got a great presentation. Look out for the region, look out for it online. It's officially CPD certified, and that goes some way towards, competency.
Yeah. And in your previous job then, would you be looking, as we do a change like this, as it comes in, would you be trying to ascertain how much information maybe that the installer's having on his yearly inspection to see if he has made that bridge with it, and in the case of just saying I might have done something, do you try and test them a little bit?
Yeah, so from my certification body experience, you're certifying 17065, which I think all the schemes follows the EAS requirements, is CPD's brought in, and as an assessor you was making sure it's relative. So I was assessing at the time of 2022, so surge protection devices hot topic is you might be having them discussions, and ultimately you'd be looking for stuff on records. No set hours. Me, myself, have been a member of the IET for 10 plus years. We've always had set hours that you've got to put in as an engineer, as a professionally registered engineer, but ultimately on them it was no specific time, but it's just making sure you're doing it, whether that's watching the eFIXX videos.
Sorry, I didn't hear you there. What did you say?
As long as so if you may be watching the eFIXX videos, getting something out, you've got CPD certified stuff. If you're finding the new information, however you're finding it about Amendment 4 now, if you're learning something new, you're developing yourself professionally, and we're continually doing it, aren't we? It's this continuous process. It's not let's get left behind and all of a sudden we're going to update. It's just that process of the people watching tonight. Hopefully they've learned something. It's put it down on your CPD record. I would see that as an assessor. And well done, you're meeting the requirements.
And yourself, so obviously you've got people within the team. How do they do their CPD to keep up to touch?
Well, I know Sean, our site supervisor, he'll encourage the lads to watch the eFIXX channel.
Sorry, I didn't quite hear you there.
He'll encourage the lads to watch the eFIXX channel. So, yeah, and I know they do it and they find it useful. It's good stuff. What you
top tip for you, because something I did for someone last week, one of the houses and associations got in touch with us, and they said a lot of their team do CPDs. They asked, could I set a group up on our portal so their boss could have a little cheeky look in there to see how they're doing? And I have been able to do that.
Oh,
so
right.
if you want to surprise your team, I can set you up your own little group and you can dip in there and have a look. And actually,
wouldn't it be great if we did a free CPD? You notice the word I used there? Noticed it.
Is there a sponsor involved in that?
No, not at all.
No products. No products in the CPD.
Let me finish. And you'll know it's free then. In support with the Lasico group. What are you trying to suggest?
Yeah.
Yes. So
is it free? So you give that as like a free sponsorship to that group for your CPD? So that's free.
It's free to the end user. Yeah.
Oh, but it's not free to the group.
Your bookend. So we've got a piece of content coming out, haven't we?
yes, Joe's working on it now. He's probably had to rewrite his script.
Yeah, because we completely nosed up PMB and got caught out by the load containment effectively measuring as well. We got caught out on that as well, so that's a good one. So yeah, we've got a free piece of content coming out. We've got a new one coming out because this reminds me of this thing here. If you want to hold this looks big, boys. This is back in your day. Yeah. When you say you started off domestically, Joe, you didn't end domestically, did you?
No, so probably about 4 years I worked for a company. It's very much domestically, but doing sort of apartments at the time. There was the flavour of the flats, the apartments, so you was doing sort of the BEMCO units, ended
up looking at large solar.
So went from there, started then more into commercial. One of the first jobs we did was sort of a nightclub, but then got into solar early. We'd done
Nightclub.
Nightclubs, yeah, back in the day. Yeah, going back time, and you could smoke indoors and things like that. Where people went, yeah. Going back some years, got into PV, and then I had the commercial background, the design, and then we did do some domestic PV, but not many. And then we was into the commercial market. Big, as I finished consulting, he was designing, a megawatt every other day system, the integration of that. So he went.
Have some respect, is what I'm saying. Put some respect on the name there, folks. Great at that. The guy's incredible. He's been brilliant off camera. We had a nice conversation yesterday about it as well, and you said you knew in his previous job he wouldn't be there 5 minutes. Yeah, that 5 minutes was 6 months and you're gone again.
Yeah, when I first met Joe, we got on really well, didn't we? Sort of, and we just knew that standards really.
Yeah, so I got involved in standards at the previous job at the NICEIC. They, have people on JPEL, so they started with them and they put me on the committees, and Darren is from another company on the committees. He's reached out, and then because the standards community is, although you might disagree on things, to get the book right for the different users is, you're helping each other out as well. And me and Darren had some calls, and he was giving me the background of the committee. So, friendships, I support it off straight away there. But it was good that someone is giving out to a stranger is to help them to work the way of the committees, how things work. He's understanding that.
Great people do great things, and you two are those people that do those type of things as well. But let's have a look at your lug.
Yep.
Yeah, let's look at your end then.
There's my lugs.
Yep, okay. So large end, that one is?
Cable lugs, yeah. If you're getting into solar, it's the bigger power systems, you'll eventually wander into the world of cable lugs. And again, it's one of those things, probably one of the cheapest components in the whole system, but one of the most expensive if you get it wrong.
Yes. And there's a CPD on this?
There's a CPD coming out.
This is more of a deep dive. Is it one long video? Is that right?
Yes, one long video, but it takes you all through everything from how cable lugs are made, the different types, how to crimp them, some of the problems that people make when they do crimp them.
Yeah, this one's actually wrong. One end is wrong on this one.
One end is wrong on that. It'll only show itself up after about 6 months.
Okay. Check is cleared.
Yeah, check is yeah, if you've done the install. Yeah, but again, it was great. It's obviously we made that in partnership with Klauke, so it's free to the end user. But Klauke helped us do the work. I spent a lot of time in their factory. Again, always good to see things made in the factory. But yeah, and there's a great bit in there that shows the difference between the one you might buy on a well-known online retailer compared to the ones that are made by a manufacturer. And we have to be very careful in this building that we don't mix those two boxes up because it could have catastrophic effects. But yeah, I tune in for that. But I think, yeah, today's been great. I think regs seem to be well received. We've got an easy way of complying with the new bits, just buy some nice kit. I think we're looking at solar and storage next week.
Yes, 100%.
You got the solar and storage?
Yeah, we'll be there.
You'll be there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, well, we'll bring the band back together. We'll be talking about your challenge wall.
We're bringing new stuff as well, so we will launch that.
You've been keeping stuff back from us, yeah, to launch it there?
I am obliged to do this.
Oh, right, okay.
You just come.
We'll come.
Have you got a television on the stand? Is it a little television?
Yeah, we can put one. If
yeah, we'll cut out Steve's challenge wall. We've shown it every hour on the hour, just for anyone who has got any self-respect left in the solar industry to come along.
And then sweeping up at the end as well. It's an honour. Folks, we're an amazing evening. This has been one of the highlights in my entire time at eFIXX. It's been my favourite live show because we've got a live band, because we've got some amazing guests, and we've got some incredibly intelligent guests as well. And Gordon is with me as well. So we've also got Bez, the electrical industry. He's up there. He's going to finish it off. As we roll the end credits, please stay on to the very end because you will see the lively Bez joining the amendments for our very last song and the end credits. See you in a fortnight.